What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In this one, we're taking a look at the C70, the good, the bad, everything you need to know about it, whether it's in your shopping cart and you're about to buy it right now, or you just clicked on this video and you'd like to learn more. I'm excited for this one.
Me too, Ben, me too.
So I'd love to welcome Justin Coleman to the channel. He's a world-renowned wedding videographer. He's classically trained in the art of film and creates some visually stunning music videos. Is there anything else that I'm missing?
No, it's basically it. Mainly my niche is wedding videography, and then now I've been dabbling in music videos. It's just a ton of fun. I mean, I do something to, I just have fun with filmmaking, because if it starts losing its fun, then, at the end of the day, it just becomes a job, and nobody wants that.
All right, man. So let's run through the highlight specs. What goes into this that makes it cost $5,400?
Yeah, man. I mean, the biggest thing for me is the dual card slots. Honestly, I only shoot on cameras with dual card slots now, especially for what I do. Just as a professional, you cannot afford for a card to fail, and if it does, you're just SOL for a whole shoot. You'd have to refund everybody.
No, God, please, no, no!
It's just not worth it, in my opinion. So the dual card slots, the sensor is actually the same sensor as the C300 Mark III, which when I heard that, I was like, dude, C300 Mark III is $1,200 after tax. And I was like, why would they put the same sensor in this $5,500 camera? So
Wait, 1,200 or 12,000?
Sorry, 12,000. 12,000. I was like, yeah, I'm bowing right now if it's 1,200. So yeah, the sensor, just crazy. The image quality you get out of this thing is just so beautiful. The colors are insane. The dynamic range from the dual outgain, insane. Just literally everything about this just feel, it's actually viable as handheld with a lens that has stabilization built in. You get really good handheld footage in this. I shot literally a couple music videos, all handheld. I've even blocked my stuff to pretend to be a tripod, essentially. And the footage turned out great. So I think at the end of the day, it's got a ton of amazing things. Lastly, I would say it has audio leveling. So you can talk as quiet as you want or as loud as you want, and this guy, if you set it right, it will just adjust the audio for you, which is super useful for me with wedding videography, because you get some guests who hop on the mic and they are so quiet, and you get some guests who are just so loud or fluctuate a lot. So that audio leveling is just a huge selling point for me too. So
there it is.
Then the built-in NDs, that is honestly huge too. Just going outside, not needing an ND filter. I keep a CPL filter on this guy just so I always get the best colors with the sky and with reflections and stuff, and can mess around with that. So honestly, just having that on there, I think is just a small bonus. But yeah, the built-in NDs, I think they're huge.
So prior to shooting on the C70, you shot on, your A camera was the S3, right? The A7
Yep.
III. And then prior to that, your A camera was the EOS R. Correct?
Yep.
So did you get the RF lens, the 15-35, in anticipation of staying with Canon, or did you fully switch from the R to the A7S III and then fully switch back, getting rebuying the lenses?
So I'm a super big gear minimalist, honestly, when it comes to the lenses. So with the Canon EOS R, I rocked a 24-70 EF version 1 my whole first year of doing weddings, and that's the only lens I had. And I always knew what I was using, and it honestly was super easy for me. And I learned that lens so well, I just could get the shots that I wanted, without having to stop everything and try to switch it out and whatnot. So I easily switched systems, because I had the R, I had an RP, I sold both those. I bought the A7S III, I bought an A6500, which I quickly never used and sold because it was honestly not good. And it didn't match with the A7S III. So it was a headache to work with in post. Oh man. So I was like, man, I bought the Sigma 24-70 with the A7S III, rocked that for a while. The autofocus is just incredible with that lens and that body. And then I was like, you know what? I want to just brand myself as being a complete professional and have a Netflix certified camera. So when this came out and I saw it was Netflix certified, I was like, man, I'm sold. I just need to collect the funding. I watched so many gear reviews and stuff, and comparison videos. And this thing honestly compares to the Red in a lot of ways. Except it's also got really good autofocus, which I think, the Red, they're getting there, they're getting better. But for me and what I do and what I shoot, it's I really want some reliable autofocus. And so that's why I ultimately went with this instead of a Red. But yeah, man, I mean, that was been kind of my journey with the different cameras. Also, this is the most satisfying. I don't even set on anything.
What do you use your controlling for?
Nothing. I just go like this when I'm bored because it's so satisfying. But
So we're gonna specifically cover the pros and cons of the C70, but before going there, it's been unofficially stated by some that the C70 is an upgrade over the C200. And so I know you haven't personally owned it, but I remember I think at your school,
Yep.
you could check that out, right, for use. Would you agree with that, or why not?
yeah, I've shot on the C200 before, and it just is so big, and the image quality, I'd say, is basically the same, if not maybe a little worse than this. I know the C200, it can shoot RAW, which this cannot technically, but I mean, when you shoot C-Log with the 4K, you have so much flexibility in post, and it is like, it's crazy. As a professional, you're gonna have your settings dialed in. You're gonna have the white balance correct. You're gonna have it framed up and all these things. And so, in my opinion, this guy is for sure an upgrade. I think the image quality you get out of this guy, unless you're shooting RAW, is better. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say this is definitely an upgrade.
So pros and cons. We're gonna flesh out whether this camera is worth it because unlike Justin, not everyone makes 9 figures a year doing videography. So starting with the pros, we got Canon colors, right?
Yeah, Canon colors, amazing, can't beat it.
What would you say are the biggest reasons to choose this, despite the massive price tag?
All right, yeah, I'd say biggest reasons are the dual card slots, built-in NDs, image quality, and then it's Netflix certification, and you just look so professional. And I know like some people are like, yeah, it's just with clientele. Sometimes they feel more comfortable when you have something like this, you know. And as much as I hate that it's true, it is a truth. And the truth is you're going to be able to market yourself as a professional. You're going to be able to market and charge more for your work just by having something like this. That's just like become a fact nowadays. So. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. How about on the cons side? I know I've heard things about the autofocus on the C70 being worse than like the R5 and R6. How is like low light performance, all of that stuff?
Yeah, so low light it's pretty good, honestly. Like I have no complaints. You're not going to be able to. I mean, I have the A7S III as well, so I'm not worried about low light. I'd say the cons for this guy is price tag, obviously, number one. Number two, I'd say the autofocus is not as good as the R5 or A7S III, especially with face tracking. You turn your profile to the side, it'll lose track. So it only can really track from the front pretty well. But if you leave it in landscape tracking mode, you know, like a larger square, that always does pretty well. But yeah, I mean, the autofocus is definitely a con because I've shot on a like R, you know, and an A7S III. So I'll see. Other than that, like, I don't know, it's amazing. Other than those two things, I really like it.
Certainly. Does it have IBIS or is it the electronic?
Yeah, it has legit IBIS.
Oh,
not,
I didn't know that.
At least I'm like 90% sure. I guess I don't want to speak anything wrong. I'm pretty sure it has like 90% sure it's got the legit embodied stabilization. I know.
Okay, so thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate you spending your time here with us today. I'm going to link Justin's channel and some of the work that he's done, his website, in the description below, as well as with the iCard. You can click here to get to his stuff. Yeah, I hope you had a fun time coming on the channel. Man. Appreciate all of your wisdom and your business assets that you got. Hope to collab in the future with you.
Absolutely. 100% I'll have you on shoots here right now.
Absolutely.
But it's a ton of fun. So.
Can't wait. All right, so you guys have a good one. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.